Hey everyone, thank you for dropping by to check out my video for the components for week 2. I do firstly apologize to you, Professor Bloom, if I have any issues with this current page that I have here getting uploaded to GitHub. I'm trying to figure out why it's not acknowledging it on their side of the server, but it is being updated on my MacBook here. So it was working earlier today, and then for some reason I lost all my work and had to basically start over. So trying to get that figured out. So anyways, moving forward, I wanted to at least get this video up so you guys could see this, and then hopefully I'll get the GitHub issue figured out. Okay, here with the header, I chose really a nav for this first part up here because of the navigational purposes of it. If I'm correct, you'll click it and will take you back to the home page of Flow Swimming. Hence why I put in the image tag here in the picture, set the basic height and width, and then used a paragraph for Flow Swimming here to be edited later with CSS. Here I used an aside, kind of because it's not exactly part of the section here with taking you to the home page, but it does take you to other related information with joining Flow Pro and logging into the site. Again, using paragraph tags for that setup there, closing the aside. Here I used an unordered list for these links up here, home videos, meet, swimmers, and contacts, having that set up to the best that I could, and closed it off right there to end that component. Okay. That's component 1. Component 2 is the call to action here, which we have. I kind of was a little lost on this one in terms of how this whole image back here is a background image, and how I was going to get that stretched out through the whole background, or etc. So I have an image tag here, not necessarily background, but just to kind of get things started at least, and had a basic height and width to edit later on, either through here or through this and CSS. Here with the taxi section, I used an H1 because I thought it was, in terms of semantics, more of a leader of the headers, if you may. The primary one, what it's expressing and describing in terms of the service it provides. And then I used an H2 kind of due to the font size here, and then I went back to H1 here for the 800 number 2345, as you see there. Whether that's correct or not, not quite sure, especially in font type and size, but it was the best thing I was thinking of at the top of my head at the time. Here, as you can see, we have this form. See if I can move this a little around a little bit. And I put in, the full name, email, and phone, as you see here. And then of course, after that, I put in a second button for the Get 20% Discount Now, in terms of how that's displayed. And again, how I can manipulate that with CSS moving forward, I don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. And again, I use this as close this off as a figure. So again, up here, the reason why I chose figure is because, let me see where's my chart? I chose a figure because, the one or more images, the graphic code samples, okay, really just because of how graphic it was. It didn't really have much of a news or article posting kind of thing. It didn't necessarily have the site or in-page navigation. I mean, it kind of did, but it didn't, and I didn't really think it was subsidiary enough to be an aside. So that's why I went with figure in that regard. Whether I'm right or not, I don't know. Any input would be greatly appreciated. Okay, that is that component. Component 3. Let's go. Through 2. Let's go to 3. Down here, the feature. What I did here was, again, I chose a nav for this, again, primarily because this is going to be navigating to other parts of the site. And I opened it up with an unordered list and have these list items in here with the image, which would be this image here, the H2 here, or it could be H3 maybe, even if it's meant to be, or in that regard. And then the paragraph for the lorem ipsum right here. Now, where I questioned myself is here in the H2 whether that should also be a paragraph or not. I'm not sure in terms of aesthetics and how we'll get that color fixed and font fixed later in CSS. I'm not sure. I just kind of went H2 in that regard. Why I went H2 is because I thought, again, it still had a bit of a header feel, but not a primary header, and that's kind of why I chose that in that regard. So again, any help in that regard would be greatly appreciated. And it's just repeats here throughout the list for each item we have. And I close it off here with the close and nav tag, and that is component 3. Component 4, the About Us section here. We have our let's start let's go to the top here. I did an article. Why did I choose article? Well, again, this is kind of a somewhat of a news article, weblog, or forum post. Sidebar widget like it's described here in the article heading. And I said article because even though it's in the About Us section, it's got kind of an article set up down here. Okay, and so I opened up with the H1 About Us. Then I created a section inside the article for each drill. We have the picture here for the drill, the lorem ipsum for the H2. Settings down here, and then a paragraph for the explicativo, redundante, vitite, or however that's said. And I did separate sections for each one, closing off the article at the end. Okay. Component 5, the blog. What's hot on flow swimming? Let's see. Let's go back up here. Again, I opened this up as an article. Why did I open it up as an article? Well, again, because this is kind of a blog, news forum posting, and except it's done through videos. So that's why I opened it that way. I have the H1 here, what's hot on flow swimming. And I created sections each inside of this article again. I put an image source here for Ryan Lochte. It probably should be a video source because these are videos that you would be clicking on, so I apologize for confusion on that. You got the paragraph section here. I put lorem ipsum, but again, Cha, Ryan Lochte, Olympic swimmer, okay, the sprinting approach, Mark Gangloff, etc. That's where those titles would go for that section. And of course, it's multiplied throughout. I have 16 of them here because they have 16 videos. How to necessarily set that up for the 4 rows and 4 columns, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head without doing a table. And I remember one of my classes, one of my professors said doing a table setup for this is a little more not proper. So I'm assuming having to do it this way and then figure it out with margin, padding, spacing, etc. would be would handle that later on. And of course, at the end, closing it off with the article tag. Okay, component 6. Going down to the contact us form. Again, I chose a div for this for a particular reason. I really had to think a lot about this. I still may be wrong, but again, is it a major navigation block? Maybe, but I didn't really think so because, again, you're just submitting information. Is it a news article, weblog, comment on an article? No, not really. Comment on an article, maybe, here in the body section, but I think this contact us is more for any type of inquiry, so that's why I said no for that. Is it required to understand the content, the current content? Yeah, I think it is because you're inquiring about whatever subject matter you are getting in the contact us, so that's why I did that and moved down here in the flowchart to, again, figure more images, code samples. Not a lot of graphics going on here, so that's why I said no for that. And is it logical to add a heading, a section of the page, chapter? Is it part of something? Not necessarily. An appropriate element, well, you got those things going on with the possibly the paragraphs and whatnot. So I might have messed up on that with the basic, like the name, email, but again, that's more of a form thing. So that's why I answered no and came to the div um, in terms of weeding out to that point. So that's why I have that. I have a form here, and then all the input information for the form, name, email, subject, body, and I close off the form, and then I also have down here another form style button for the submit button, and then I close the div. So that's why I chose that. Again, I don't know if I'm wrong. If I am, please let me know. Okay. Uh, Login, registration, sign up. Okay, this one's a little more complex on component 7. I chose an aside, and why did I choose an aside? Because again, this is kind of something that would be a sidebar, comment section, advertising, almost some form where you're clicking up on the side and then you're clicking to log in and go to the next whatever content you would receive as a logged in member. So that's why I made it an aside. Here I put a paragraph, log in, or then I put the hyperlink link to sign up right here, okay, for the sign up section. And then of course I did a button here for closing out. I did an H2 for use your FlowSwimming account to log in right here. Did a form section again for username or email address and password. I did the link down here for the forgotten password. Remember me paragraph for next time. I don't remember exactly how to do the checkbox. I do apologize for that in that regard. If I can have some help on that, be greatly appreciated. And then again, a button style form here for the login, and then I close the aside. Okay. Component 8. Go down here to the footer. Again, it gets a little more complex. But again, I chose a nav because this is kind of takes you back to the home page, and then all these other links take you throughout other parts of the page. Got the paragraph here for the lorem ipsum. You got your images here, or sources in Facebook, Twitter, RSS down here. Got all my links over here, about, portfolio store, etc., all the way down to help. Okay, bike store proudly powered by WordPress. That's this little advertisement down here. And I got the form style here for the contact us. And how I can get these little up arrows involved, I'm not quite sure yet. I do apologize for some ignorance on that. Okay, component 9, down here, the pop-up, in terms of subscribing to the newsletter. Again, I have an aside. Excuse me. Why I have an aside is, again, pull quote, glossary, advertising right there. That's pretty much why I did that. Advertising to get on someone's email list. Okay, so I did the non-alcoholic in terms of the paragraph, the drink online stores in the paragraph. I got this image here for the water that can try to be stretched out across. The form style display, what do I got? This button here, up at the X, and the subscribe to our newsletter. Down here is H2. Got the paragraphs down here for this section here, and of course the form for entering your email, and then a form button for the subscribe. Okay, and close the aside. And for component 10, it's probably the hardest one, the news article. I start out with it being an article, and I put a video as what this is here in the top. Okay, and then the follow Ryan Lochte button goes below that. Then I have here the H1 for the headline, and then got the by Christopher Chavez flow track on April 13th. Okay. Then I have down here, where am I? The Twitter button. I have the email button, and then I have the embed button right there. Okay. And I close out that article, and then I also open an aside here for this information down here, and then Ryan Lochte chats with Christopher Chavez, tells the synopsis on that. and then the paragraph down here for the tags, and then the link for Ryan Lochte, Chris Chavez, etc. Close that aside. Then I open up one more side down here for the login with, and of course the flow swimming or comment or to comment section here. And then I close off that aside, and that's how that's done. I do apologize again once more, Professor, for my GitHub not maybe uploading immediately. I'm going to try to get that file over to you tonight via email, so you can have that to review. And as for the videos, this is the best. Sorry, the video here. I just wanted to reach out as best as I could to the class and to you. And again, thank you for all that you do for us as our professor and classmates for your feedback. I really do appreciate it, and look forward to getting to working with you all as we move forward. Thanks.